Brittany.
I'm Venus, and this is Coffee with B&B.
Cheers. Cheers.
If you've not watched one of our videos, we are Christian actors in Austin. So we've just decided to do videos on what that looks like, what we kind of go through, what acting stuff we deal with, what faith-based stuff we deal with, and just combining it all into videos.
So let's see what our topic is today.
Yes.
Da-da-da-da.
New topic. What happens in the audition room? Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to start with right before the audition. So,
Yeah, that's good.
you got the audition, and now it's audition day, and you're heading out. Be early.
Yes.
Like, don't be walking in late. Be sure you give yourself enough time to drive there and find parking. Not only find parking, but get out and walk to wherever the casting office is.
Yeah.
So how early would you say to be parking? Maybe like 15 minutes?
Yeah, I would say 15, 20 minutes. Maybe including parking, 20. Just to give yourself that 5 minutes to like park and walk out. Maybe even hit up the restroom. I don't know about you, but I
I do
always
that.
have to go. I don't know if it's nerves, but I'm always like, just want to go.
Or sometimes you just want to check, or maybe need to throw on a shirt that you didn't want to wear on the way to the audition. So yeah, give yourself that restroom time too if you need it.
Yeah, because you walk in and usually there's somebody at a desk where you would go and you would sign in, you know, your name, your phone number, your agency, time in, something like that.
Be sure that you go to the restroom and everything before you sign in, because by you signing in, that says, I'm ready to go. I'm ready for when you guys call me. So don't just sign in and then go to the restroom and then come back. No. Do the restroom thing first, and then come sign in and sit.
Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm guilty of doing that, signing in and then going to the bathroom. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Won't be doing that again.
Yeah.
So, you know, you say like be 15 minutes early, but on the flip side of that, I would also say not to be too early.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's really packed in there and it's really busy and there's nowhere to sit. Like people are just standing, and then I hear the person at the desk being like, oh, your time's not for another hour. Can you leave and come back, please? And so, you know, sometimes it's just annoying if you're like an hour early.
Yeah.
And they're not ready for you.
And there's a reason that they have you scheduled at that time. It's either because, let's say they're seeing all the guys first, and then they're seeing all the girls later, and if you girl, you know, you show up with the guys, and it's like, hey, it's pointless for you to be here right now. Or sometimes
they have you matched with.
They have you grouped as a family or like a set of friends. So if you're just kind of popping in early to get yours done with, well, that can sometimes mess up the schedule. Sometimes it's okay, and if they can get you in, they might. But there's a reason that you have an actual time to go in. After you sign in, have a seat.
Yeah.
Try not to be too chitty-chatty.
Yes. Or, you know, people walk in, they'll be like, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
How's this that you're working on? And then, like, you're like, oh, and then I'm, like, listening to their conversation and distracted. And I would say save that for after the audition once you go out the doors. They like you to be more on the quiet side. And you just don't want to be grouped in with people that are being super loud and disrespectful that way. So I would just say it's better to be on the quiet side.
Agreed.
In the waiting room.
And if somebody does try to chit-chat with you, just be like, oh, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that, but I'll talk to you after your audition, or I'll talk to you after my audition, or if you're still here after we're done, let's talk outside. You know, just something to give them the hint that, hey, I don't want to talk right now. When you walk in, have your headshot. We talked about this in a prior video, but take your headshot in with you. You more than likely won't need it. A lot of stuff is digital now. But you don't want to spend that time running back to your car, especially if you had to park far away. So just have your headshot on hand, just in case.
For sure.
Take your, like if you have sides, if you have lines, it's okay to take those into your audition and to actually use them in your audition. Because if you're like, oh, I got this, put it in my pocket, put it in my purse, not going to need it, and then you're just lost.
Right.
You're really going to wish you were holding your sides, and they're going to wish you were holding your sides. That's what they're there for. Learn them enough to not have to rely on them, but have them there.
Yes. Usually you will bring them in with you. I've had a couple times where they've been like, leave them out. So it's like, that's why it's better to just be quiet and listen. Stress that.
It's true. Yeah, because sometimes you can even eavesdrop in a way. Like, you know, you heard them tell the person, you don't want anyone touching the mop, so you'll know when you go in, don't touch the mop.
Right.
Whatever it is, you can go ahead and go in prepared because you already heard that feedback from another person. And it's not necessarily going to apply to you, but a lot of times it will. Okay, so you're sitting there, and then you get called in, and you just kind of take their direction. A lot of times it's, okay, come stand on this mark, and they will first usually take your name. If you're a kid, if you're under
18,
or 18, okay, then they'll ask your age. But if you're an adult, you don't have to say
your age. If
you're
over 18, you don't have to tell your age.
Yeah. And so this part is actually called the slate.
Yes.
So they say, I don't think they often say the word slate anymore, but this is considered your slate.
Yeah. And just in case if they ever do, so you know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's when you say your name.
Yeah. And I've recently read that back in the day, you would say your name and your agency. But nowadays, they just want you to say your name, because when you say your agency, you seem like an actor. And a lot of these things are wanting to cast real people. So you just leave your agency out of it unless they ask you.
Or like when I was a child, it was name, agency, age.
Mm-hmm.
But now, yeah, it's pretty much just your name they ask you to say. Yeah, not to sound too actory. And I'm with such and such agency.
Yeah. And then they'll tell you afterwards, okay, let's do profile shots. So that's just literally your profile. You go full to the side, like not a half thing, but literally to the side, that your entire body, your feet, turn them to the side. And then go back to the other side, completely to the other side. Like,
and I was talking to a casting agent recently, and he was saying not to do this, but it's funny because a lot of actors do the whole like this, and then and it's too model like, and it's not real, and that's not what they're looking for. They just want you to look this way, look this way, look this way.
Yeah, don't flirt with the camera.
No,
that's not your time.
You don't have to do the whole.
No. Just give them their profile shots. That's all they're looking for. Don't waste their time with being cutesy.
Oftentimes, too, for commercials, they ask you to show your hands.
Mm-hmm.
Which, the first time they asked me to do that, my nails were not ready for that. So now it's gotta keep my nails up. But they'll ask you to, show both sides, kind of up by your face like this.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, if they might want to do a close-up in the commercial of, you holding up or whatever it might be.
Yeah. And they normally don't do this for film, but for commercials, if maybe you're going to be eating a burrito, they want to make sure you've, got your fingers, all that stuff. And then sometimes they'll be more specific. I mean, everyone's different, so it might be cover your face, we don't want to see your face, or it might be hold them out in front of you. It just depends, but they'll coach you through that 4 seconds of your life.
Exactly.
And then sometimes, too, if you have glasses, they may have you say your name with your glasses on, and then just say, can you take your glasses off? They just want to see your face without your glasses on. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Or they may want you to do the audition without your glasses.
And oftentimes, if you're a male, they'll ask you during that kind of, as you say your name, they'll be like, and are you willing to shave for this? Yes or no, basically. I find that's a common question that they ask men for commercials.
Yes, and if you're female and you're next, do not follow that with, and yes, I'm willing to shave also.
Yes,
it's
so many
funny.
People do that.
Casting directors hear that all the time. Don't be one of those girls.
So after your slate is usually when they'll explain to you what they want you to do in the audition. And now that's hard to explain because every audition is different. It might be, you might have sides, which are your lines, and they'll explain what they want you to do. It might just be completely improv. They'll be like, okay, you're sitting on this chair, and you two girls are talking, you're having a great time. Go. Or I've been in auditions where they will coach you along as you're doing it. So they'll be like, okay, so you see your friend, and so we're literally doing it as they're saying it. Oh, and now your boyfriend walks in, you're really excited to see him, and now you're trying to take a selfie, and you're kind of doing it while they're explaining it.
Right.
So there's many different ways it can go.
And I feel like a lot of times we touch on what goes on in commercials, because we do a lot of commercials here in Austin.
Yeah.
But film and TV shows, I mean, you've got a character. So when you've got sides and you've got a character, do whatever you've got prepared for that. And we're not going to get into how to prepare, because there are very many ways to come up with a character or just play the role, whatever you want to call that. But just have in mind, know your lines, know your stuff, know what you're doing. When they say action, give it to them. And when they say cut, if you have maybe another way that you could do it, or maybe you didn't feel good with that one, ask, do you mind if I do this one more time? Or do you have time for me to do it again? Don't just demand that, because they may have loved what you did. But one thing that we didn't touch on was don't shake the casting director's hand.
Oh, yeah.
When you walk in. They see a ton of people every day of the week. Don't
want
try
to be
to
shaking
be
everyone's hand, getting everyone's nerves.
Yes. Don't waste that time. If they're shaking hands all day long, that's a lot of minutes that they're going to lose out the day.
Yeah.
It's kind, it's a polite gesture, but just say hi.
And thank you when you leave.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of a technical thing, but usually if you're auditioning for a film or a television show, you also don't look directly into the camera. They'll usually have a reader, which is somebody else behind the camera or beside the camera that will read the other lines to you, and usually, unless they ask you otherwise, you look at them, not directly in the camera. You would look and interact with them. Just a little. Sorry?
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
I thought you said, why'd you say that? I don't know. I just thought maybe.
Auditioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there have been times, too, where if there wasn't a reader and it was just the person behind the camera, I've asked, like, do you want me to act as if they're over here, or do you want me to talk to you? Because then that looks like I'm looking into camera. And don't be afraid to ask those kind of questions.
Yeah.
They're okay with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if there's a reader, look to the reader. That's your other character. That's the person you're connecting with. Once you've done the audition, don't ask for feedback.
No.
If they want you to do it another way, they will tell you. And if they don't, then they say thank you. Then hey, that's it. That's your cue to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you guys, and don't pull the like blah 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 blah. Oh, that was horrible.
In the audition room.
Yeah, don't show your disappointment or your frustration with yourself during your audition. Wait till you get outside and you're not in front of them.
If you have a lot of dialogue in your audition, if you stumble over your words, don't be like, oh, oops, sorry, can I start again? Don't do that. Just keep going.
Yeah, just stumble over our words in real life.
Yeah, that's real. That's natural. Like, and they understand that that's going to happen. Just don't be like, oh, oops, oh, sorry, can I do that? Just pick up from the next thing and just keep going and pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah. Just work with it. It's really not that big a deal because we really do it all the time. Yeah, actually, I feel like almost every time that I've stumbled over my words or something have been like the times that I've gotten callbacks or even booked it, and I think I stumbled over my name during my slate. I was like, I'm Brittany, and I just kept going. I was like, you guys know what I'm saying. Yeah. Pretend like it didn't happen. Yeah. Literally. Yeah. We're getting our new headshot soon. We have them scheduled. Next week. If you can't tell, we both just did our hair. I colored mine with henna yesterday. I only got a half-inch trim. A little trim. So we will show you those updated headshots once we get them. But I think that's kind of the bulk of it. Be, maybe 15 minutes early. Try to be respectful in the waiting room. Be prepared. Go in. You slate into the camera. That's when you are looking into the camera. Usually, when you slate, you say your name. Yeah. They might ask for your profile, for your hands, and then just listen to what listen while they're explaining what they want you to do. Yeah, we hope this was helpful, and that's what we got for today. Yep. Let us know if you want to hear anything else. Bye. Bye.